It is Joseph R. Wheeler III, artist, founder, president of the ONYXCON Foundation, for another live chat. Saying, what's up? Good vibes, holiday cheer. Happy holidays to you and yours, wherever you may be in the world. I'm in the ATL metro area, Atlanta, Georgia, to be exact, for the metropolitan area. That's a sprawl, by the way. It's not just the city, it's the sprawl. We out here in the sprawl. So, it is a very interesting day. It's almost 70 degrees today. It's 68. Yesterday it was like, it's like 40. Yeah, it felt like 40, you know. And before that, it was hitting 30s. And it will be back. The cold will be back. It don't never leave for long. It just jumps back and forth. This is some typical global warming stuff, some typical Atlanta and global warming stuff. And for anybody who just don't believe that global warming, it's not to be believed. Belief is having conviction in something without proof. You don't have to know that it's true. You just believe. That's what belief is. That's what belief is. That's why, that's why personally I'm not religious, because I study too much about history and I know too much about how things were created by human beings to manipulate other human beings. So that's not to say that that's the only purpose of religion for those who are believers, because there are some people who understand everything I just said, but yet they still believe, and I'm cool with that. Matter of fact, I got respect for religious people like that, because I know that they are intelligent enough to understand that there's other levels, and that one should always be objective in life. Never assume that you got it completely all figured out. Even on my side of the equation, I leave room for one major part of even religious conviction and belief is that the power of the human mind and believing in something, it's an energy. I respect that. Our energy is real. People say, I'm telling you, it's real. Hey, you ain't got to prove nothing to me. I know it is. I know it is. But the source of that is universal. It's not biased. It's not, it doesn't promote just one side of something, one side of history. It doesn't think it's the only thing, the end all be all, what they say, the alpha and omega. You know what I'm saying? It knows better to know that there are many versions of what that could be even been trying to define in human terms. But anyway, so for the record, let me go on and get this disclaimer out the way. Views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of ONYXCON's affiliates, associates, sponsors, etc. You know the deal. What's up, 14 in the building? If you can hear me, I'm gonna need a thumbs up to make sure we got my sound check. Sound check 1 2 1 2. Sound check 1 2 1 2 in the place to be. Put your thumbs in the air and wave them like you just don't care. I say put your thumb right there, and say, oh yeah, if you can hear me. If you can hear me, let me get some thumbs up in here. 15 in the building, what y'all doing? I wish there was like a mini camera for when you go live, since y'all can see me and I can't see you, so I could just see and be sure, so I wouldn't feel bad. So I wouldn't feel bad about talking about folk if I know they just fully capable and they still ain't saying nothing. Sitting there looking, just, I don't know. I just imagine a lot of deadpan people sitting there drooling on themselves or something. Now, if they got mental issues or slow functions, all respect due. But if you ain't got none of them problems, I don't never see no reason why somebody would sit looking at another human being, talk to them, and not simply say, what's up? That's basic respect. There it is. We got two in the building. We got two functioning adults in the building. What's happening? And I hope y'all are all adults. You can't control who's out there, but this show is for adults. Okay, anytime I'm doing anything, even when I'm doing all the other things in ONYXCON that might be family oriented, the key word is family. You as an adult decide whether or not it's appropriate for young folks in your circle to see. Like, you'll notice, like, we do what we call flip throughs, right? And it'll be objects, stuff in stores, things of that nature. A lot of it'll be toys, because I still collect toys, I still like toys, you know what I mean? You'll never get too old for toys. Toys are just sculptures. It's a piece of art, okay? And I'm an artist, so, folk who talk that other talk, like, you gotta grow out of this, grow out of that, man, shut up. Art is art, forever. Art is art your entire life. There's no age to that, you know what I mean? So, but I'm saying, like, I always say when they have the disclaimer here on YouTube, is this content for kids? No. No. Even if it would be age appropriate, I still say no. Because I let an adult decide that. I'm hoping that an adult is holding the phone, holding the tablet, and deciding what that child can see and not see, or what they want. I mean, it may be totally appropriate, but hell, adult don't necessarily want the kid to see it and be coming to it. I want this, I want this, I want this. Especially right now. This is Christmas time. Ain't nothing, you done heard I want all year, and now it's like I want for real. Like, what's up? What's up? If you participate in the in the Christmas energy around purchases and buying and buy, as if, suddenly the bills you done had all year done went. Damn. Don't worry, it'll come back. It'll keep coming back. It's gonna pop back in. It's good training for me as an actor, because as a film actor, because when you're working on set, this just reminds me of doing multiple takes. You start getting in a rhythm, you're talking, you're doing your lines, and then something happens where, oh, cut, we gotta cut. Yeah, we gotta switch out the battery, we gotta change the lighting, we gotta hair and makeup run in, last looks, we gotta touch up something, it's so much stuff that happens. So much stuff. So, hey, I'm never put off by that. I just keep it flowing. I just gotta be ready for the next thing. As soon as the camera back on, let's go. 2 in the building, 2 thumbs up. That's the way I like to see it. Always balanced. I want it looking just like that whenever I'm out here. If you're not a subscriber yet, hit the subscribe button. I've been seeing a lot of energy around some of our more recent short posts. Like I say, we do multi-niche content here, many topics. And one of the things I've been sharing as part of what I call busting pics. Graphics are great, and you're literally challenging the world. When I say the world, I mean the world. Everybody be on there. Every continent represented. I played some guy in Algeria today. I'm always playing Russians and everybody from every stan and every other part of the Middle East. Kazakhstan. Some stans I've never even heard. I'd be like, dang, I forgot that was a country. You know what I'm saying? Look up something. I said, oh, dang. So I play a lot of folks like that. I play people in South America, Argentina, Brazil, Colombia. Who else have I played? Peruvians. I mean, the whole world is on this chess app. I like it for that. I like the feeling of, I'm literally out here challenging people all over the world. And I admit, there's a lot of great players too. I'm usually getting beat. I ain't gonna even front. Now, other thing that happens if I'm not getting beat, I beat myself with the dang clock, because you set your time for how long you want the match to be. And a lot of times I'll be winning the game. I would say 10% of the games I've played, on top of ones I actually did win, I would have had a win, but the damn clock go out and it counts that against you. Like if you don't make your move within a certain amount of time, the clock runs out, and then it's against you, and it's like you lose because of that. I wish they would change. I don't like that. I know that's based on some, standard chess organizations stuff, but that's some bull. That's some bull. I feel like, look, time or no time, if you look at all the pieces cleared on the board, and you've got more of the more powerful pieces, plus you've got more pieces than the opponent has taken from you, who won the game? Period. That's how I see that. I don't give a damn about no time. So I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I mean, if I were making an app, there wouldn't be no time. Even if you set a time, it might have a little bonus thing to say as it's coming up to the time. Be like, if you want to continue, press this, and you won't be penalized. You'll get a little bit more time or whatever, and keep going. And then I'd also add something where it'd be like, if it does run out, like I say, whoever done cleared the most pieces, come on now. I don't even want to hear all that. Like if you took all my pawns and I took all of your pieces except for your king, but like one pawn, I'm talking about I took all your knights, all your bishops, all your rooks, and one pawn is left, you got all my pawns. Who won? I won. Like, stop playing. Stop it. So yeah. But anyway, I was gonna say I have a video that's out there, one of my shorts, because I've been doing shorts of those, where my best games, I'll do like a quick run through, and you see step by step. And first, when I started putting these up, I thought, man, this is so blurty of me, so nerdy, blurty, whatever. Because who else gonna watch this other than somebody who really plays chess? And I got all kind of people, but all kind of people play chess. You know what I mean? So I said, don't take it for granted, put it up. And as soon as I put them up, I started getting some numbers. Like, I've been getting hundreds on them on average. Some of them are slower than others, but most of them got a few hundred on views on these shorts. So I'm happy about that, because it shows that people really do play the game. It is what it is. It's an ancient game that will forever stand the test of time and be beloved by so many people all over the world. People play chess, right? So I put it up, and I got one. That one I hit like 500 plus. I think that's the highest views I've ever had on any of those that I've done like that. So I was really impressed with that. So I'm gonna start. I just haven't. So many things I got options of doing. Like I say, running a multi-niche channel. But there's a couple of things I want to do in the future. One is I want to start doing like a talk through, where it's like an actual video instead of just a short. Even though shorts be winning, I'm still gonna do the shorts. The shorts are good, but I'll do one where I slow it down and I talk over it and explain what I was thinking at that point in the game, why I chose the strategy I chose, why I did what I did. Fair warning to anybody who is a chess player that talks strictly in terms of the grid system and the letter and number for every space on the board. I don't do that. So if you need that to think while I'm talking, you ain't gonna get it here. I can tell you that right now. I ain't gonna be talking about no E2 to G5. I don't give a damn about all that. I understand it. I know what it is, but that's not how I'm thinking or playing. I don't. And another thing, you know, for all y'all who got to talk about the certain kind of openings and defenses that have become classic because of some European masters, because quite frankly, that's the only ones they often credit. They don't even talk about the legendary African players, legendary Latino players, legendary, hell, even the folk from the Middle East, which it blows my mind. Like, some of the best players I've encountered, and I knew before I even started playing on this thing, some of the best players in the world out the Middle East. So like, how you gonna be always talking about, I mean, all they ever want to tell you about is the Europeans and the Russians. And we all know why. You know, it's like, this world is more racist than it even wants to say for itself. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. Like, damn, do you smell your own doo-doo? And do you like this smell when you wake up? Like, do you like sitting in your own ish? I guess they do. They're like, yeah, I'm perfectly comfortable, just surrounded by my own bull. You know, like, no, man, there's more to the world than you. And then amongst even what you're claiming is you, there's a lot of people that don't get proper credit. There's a lot of European players that don't get proper credit, and on and on and on. You could just go on and on with that, but I hate all that, you know, how people do that. And I'm also going to do a video, because I've been wanting to get into this for years, as to why white moves first in chess. Now, because people have talked about it, when you look this up, AI immediately gives you the historical thing, and then it says it's not racial. It just happens to be that there was. I read one thing that said it's because black is often at the bottom in the bottom position, and I was like, you're making this worse. Let me finish what they said. I'm getting annoyed just saying it. They said black is often in the bottom position, so it's actually looked at as if, you know, it's an advantage for black to move second, because it was such a convoluted explanation. I can't even remember what the hell I read. I'm gonna put it in my video though. I'm not gonna be out here without full facts, because I know how that go. You gotta give it all, or people ain't gonna believe what you're talking about. So trust me, I'm gonna break it down when I do. But, you know, and then I read one where somebody was saying, well, you know, they just simply had to pick between two colors, and they had to choose one. Did you hear what you just said? They had to choose one, so why couldn't it be the other one? If they're all identical, if all the pieces are identical in a typical traditional chessboard, then why would it matter? So when I was doing the convention for ONYXCON, we had a house rule because I used to always put a chessboard out. It was a tradition. I would put a chessboard out, have a table where people could just play for free. It wasn't a tournament. I intended to make it a tournament over time if we got enough interest, but it wasn't enough people that would come in and sit down and play. And, you know, it'd be kids over there messing around that don't know how to play. And I remember many times I would come over and try to teach them. And that would be cute and fun, you know, trying to get them to understand all the pieces and everything. And then there would always be some other adult who would come over who knew how to play and be like, don't worry, man, I got you because I know you running this event. You ain't got time to do this too. So they would relieve me and they would help them out. And that would be really cool. And I like that sense of community and how people would do that. But what always used to crack me up is I had a rule, like I said, I have a rule thing on the table that broke down the history of how the game chess evolved, okay, all the other games that led to chess and why it even exists in the first place. And I gave first credit to a game called Senet or Sanat from ancient Egypt in Africa, from Kemet, as it was known. And in Kemet, there was a game called Senet or Sanat, like I say, S-E-N-E-T or S-E-N-A-T or S-E-N-T. It just depends on who you're talking to and how they want to break down the syllable structure of the vowels and the consonants, but that was the name of it. And I just usually say Senet or Sanat. I say both of those, but you know, interchangeably, that's what I'm talking about. And so this game had 30 squares. It was technically, it looked like half of a normal chessboard. It was 3 rows of 10. Like I say, 30 spots to land on. And it was symbolic. The whole game was totally symbolic of, like most of ancient Kemetic knowledge and wisdom, and everything was tied into the spiritual base and the pantheon of the gods and goddesses and what those energies represent in nature, because that's really what they were. It's not literally, you know, man or woman with other animals' heads and stuff like that. It was symbolic. All of it was very, very, very symbolic. So I did a breakdown of that, and I would say the house rule here at ONYXCON is black moves first. No one ever questioned it. No one ever cared. Everybody understood the symbolism of what I was saying, and it was done. It didn't matter who you were. If you sat down at that table, this is what's expected, and people did what they had to do according to the rules. Yep. Yep, so that's how it went, y'all. That's how it went. And we had, like I said, we had fun with it. And everybody, no one ever made a fuss of it. I never had anybody, you know, have the audacity to jump up and say, what's up with this house rule? That's ridiculous. It's absurd. And it's just like, yo, I feel that. You know what I'm saying? You know, for the connotation of black, okay, because racial ethnicity, you know, and ethnicity are two different things. They're intertwined, but they're two different things. Race is a construct. Ethnicity is a result of cultural practices and many other factors, but especially cultural, right? And also, I mean, it's your genes. Your genes are what make you look the way you look. And even they deceive the eye, because some genes don't show up looking typical. Some genes don't show up at all, according to some people, because, well, I don't see anything about that guy who looks black. Yeah, well, his mom is black, his dad is black. So. It don't matter what you think. What is what is, right? So anyway, so that's kind of how we approached that. It's like it was a psychological twist to get people to get out of their nonsense and be like I said, all the other rules were the same. We abided by all the other rules. Every other rule applied. The basic rules, not anything with time or anything. We didn't have a timer. Though I did always want to, like I said, I always wanted to push it to a tournament level and do time, because I've learned that I like fast-paced games. I actually like when you have to make a decision, and yeah, everybody's gonna make mistakes, but you got to keep going. You ain't got to worry. It really, people say it's a game of life. That's when it really feels like the game of life. Because you only got how long? You got 24 hours in a day. Okay, you're gonna minimize that down to a game that ain't gonna be an hour because we ain't got time. We at a convention, and like if we were doing it, you know, a real tournament, yo, we might be doing 5-10 minute games max. on purpose, because there's other stuff for you to see. I want you to go check out the other vendors, check out the film festival we got going on, check out the art gallery. You know, there'll be a lot of other stuff to enjoy. So I would have made it, if we had gotten to the point of making it a tournament, I definitely would have made it a series of speed chess tables where people had to keep hitting that clock, you know, and that would have made it way more exciting. So, but yeah, I'm gonna make a video. I got a plan to make a video where I break down how we went from Senat to chess, and they are two different games. Now, I'm not gonna go all into, I would say very different in some ways, but in base structure, there would be no chess if there were no Senat. I'll say again, there would be no chess and any of the other games that derived before, that led to chess. The Indian game that gets most credit for being the base for how chess came, I agree, and I can see all of the bases for that. It makes total sense. And it also respectfully makes sense in the human pantheon of how things have developed throughout history. You can always pretty much use this equation and be on point when you're talking about human evolution and involvement in the development of damn near anything. Start with Africa, then go Asia. And when I say Asia, I mean, then you could say Eurasia, because Europe is just a part of Asia, whether they want to admit it or not. Some scientists, some geographers will not classify Europe as a continent, and that is logical. It is not surrounded by a huge body of water. Yes, it has rivers that split it off and stuff, but a river ain't wide enough to be considered a vast body of water like an ocean. And if you're gonna make the rules, stick to. So that's funny about this, how they can play with the rules when it suits their agendas. Oh yeah, we're gonna stick to the rules when it suits our agenda. But when it goes against agenda, oh, suddenly we're going to switch it up. Well, no, we're the exception. All these countries that we labeled the white countries. Not, it's like I say, if you are quote unquote white and you get caught up in this nonsense, you're part of the problem. And I know there's white folk that don't think like that. I got great friends that don't think like none of that. They know how they're seen. They know what their place in society because of the construct is, but they don't participate, literally participate. They participate the same way. I say, yeah, I'm black. I said, I thought you don't agree with the construct. No, I don't, but I understand I'm in a society that's playing a game, and some people are never going to understand this level of thought that I'm talking about. So for the sake of being able to move forward on the board, I'm going to do what I got to do. But when I get in a place of power, after respect is established, respect first, then power, and then because everything's so capitalist, get some money too, we're going to make the moves we're supposed to make. And that we've been making anyway. We're going to make the moves with or without money, first and foremost. We're going to do more with it because it's more tools, which is why we're trying to monetize this channel, which is why we need you to subscribe when y'all view content, when you like what you see, when you like what you hear, when it makes sense to you, when you are a logical human being operating on that higher level of frequency, and you like what the energy of what we are saying and doing and providing and sharing here, what it does for you. And look through our playlist so you can really understand what I'm saying. Because we have a library that is like a college database of some of the best content you'll find here on YouTube. We relay a lot of stuff in our libraries, which I consider to be libraries, the playlist. Check out the playlist. That's where you're gonna see the content, the original content, my own shows for ONYXCON here, but also tons of stuff we've saved from what we found. Like there was a guy I found, I think his name of his channel is Ancient Games or something like that. And he does a really good, I don't know where he's from. I would assume he's Middle Eastern from his look and his accent. He always says his name, which I forgot, but I haven't heard him yet say where he's from and what his people are. I am curious, but regardless, he is a wealth of information about all of these games I'm talking about. He broke down the history of the Indian game that led to chess in Europe. He broke down Senet. He gave respect to Senet as being one of, if not the oldest board game known to humanity. I'll say that again. The oldest board game known to humanity. Like I say, start in Africa and go wherever else you got to go. But if you ain't giving respect to the motherland, you are very disrespectful, unrealistic, illogical, and probably racist asshole. Views and opinions expressed by yours truly do not necessarily reflect those of all of our sponsors, affiliates, and associates. But it's become a constant norm in my life that most people who would get offended by this kind of knowledge, they tend to be, they on the problem. Why would you be offended by knowledge? Why would the truth bother you? The only way a truth bothers you is if you're a liar. Liars are bothered by the truth. They're like, damn, somebody else know the truth. I can't lie to them. They ain't gonna be fooled. They don't like that. They can't stand that. They can't stand it. They eat them up. It defeats their whole purpose and existence because they live to lie. You know, like this person that got weaseled back into office for the next 4 years in America loves to lie. So, you know, that kind of nonsense. But anyway, like I said, we're going to make this video, y'all. We're going to make something, and I'm going to make it easily digestible for anybody to do their own research based on everything I provide. I'm going to give sources, credible, and all that good stuff. And don't worry, to whites and blacks and anybody else who might be on the verge of confusion and, you know, they can't believe anything unless there's somebody of the typical ethnicity involved in stating the facts. I'll even give you some references with some white folks saying the same thing I'm saying. If that makes you feel better. Hell, if it makes you even feel better, guess what? I'm part white. I got French Canadians and English and who knows what else in me. But I also got Africans. And culturally, that helps the... So yeah, y'all, got one coming for you. I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be doing that at some point. As soon as I get around to having some time to edit, because part of it is, it's like, one thing it's funny, they meaning YouTube, want to push more towards shorts because, I mean, I get it. They just know the attention span of people nowadays. And most people ain't even gonna watch something for a minute, and that's all they are, is 1 minute in length, up to 1 minute. Like, I've had ones that were like, damn near 8 seconds or something, and they get thousands of views. So it's kind of how it goes. But unfortunately, that stuff don't really, I mean, I forget what the number got to be. I forget the exact amount of minutes, but you have to have a certain amount of minutes once you do get monetized for those videos to help your bottom line. So you still got to make longer videos even for a minute. It's really crazy. I just make everything a minute anyway. The only time I ever get something that's shorter than a minute is just by chance. You know, I see something interesting and I want to make sure I capture the moment, but it ain't but so long, and I let it be what it is. But I try to make sure it's a minute. I might even add stuff to it to make it a minute because it's important. At the end of the day, it's going to affect your bottom line later. And on that note, I was watching a lot of content. I've been watching a lot of content about how to monetize, what it is when you do monetize. And this especially is for my YouTubers and for everybody else who should be a supporter, hitting that subscribe button right now. That's you. Thank you. To understand and realize what we go through to put this stuff out. Like, y'all see it and y'all might enjoy it and just take it for granted. Because I think, and I get the concept, because people are just used to sitting down watching TV. YouTube is literally social media, truly. So it's not just media you watching. You interacting at least to put the like and the subscription. It's like, for real, when we keep talking about we need it, like, it's gonna get to a point, I'm sure, in the future where they'll have enough finances to probably tell people, like, you know, of course you can pay for YouTube without ads and stuff like that. So that takes away one hassle of not having to see ads. No one likes that. I don't like having to see a bunch of damn ads. But as far as people begging for support, please subscribe, it might get to the point where they don't even ask us to say that anymore. It'll just be like, you can do it if you want to, you can do it if you're not, but we'll have something built into the app that keeps popping up telling people to do that. Because it's the only way it survives. Like, literally, channels that are super popular, made by real everyday people, not by $1 million, $1 billion corporate colluded mega companies and stuff. Like, yo, those are the companies that should be supporting us, and ad dollars over time is what we're trying to get out of it. And if you see that light and understand how valuable that is to us for the amount of time and everything it takes to do one of these channels, you know, that's the least you could do, quite frankly. I mean, if you really like the people you watch, like everybody's stuff. Like if you sitting there more than a minute, go on and put that thumb on it, man. What's that hurt? What's that hurt? I know it's, if you play video games, it ought to be easy because it's just like hitting the, button on the thing. You just bam, bam, keep it moving. If you want to see something else, cool. But you showing that love. Like I make a habit out of everybody I subscribe to. If I like their content, as soon as the video starts, I already know what I'm bound to get out of it. Now, if I could look back later and I'm like, hey, man, I don't know what you're talking about today. I don't like that. Okay, unsubscribe. But that's a 1% chance of that happening because I'm gonna scrutinize so much about what somebody says in the first few minutes of watching them, and I'm gonna give them some minutes. I'm not gonna be out before a minute. Damn, I'm gonna give it some time. You give a commercial time when you got us, so why not give it time to somebody that you done then intrigued you with their thumbnail? Sit there and see what it's talking about. See what it is. You dig it, hit that doggone subscribe button. Show them some love. If you know you're gonna be back, if you know as soon as you watched it for a certain amount of time, it's gonna show up in your algorithm. It don't matter if you just gave it a minute. Stuff like that gonna keep showing up in the algorithm. So if you do dig it, it would also behoove you because you won't have to look for it later. The worst thing I've ever done on YouTube is saw something I really enjoyed, got caught up with whatever I had going on, and it's never. Sometimes I understand when something really is going on. Like you watching something and you trying to deal with kids running around doing something. I'm an uncle, so I understand a little bit of that energy. But if you ain't got no outside immediate danger stuff going on, you food on the stove about to burn up, so there's no excuse. I mean, it's just like take a second. As soon as you start the video, like it. As soon as you start the video, make sure you subscribe, so you ain't even got to subscribe. But if you notice you ain't, go ahead and subscribe. Like, what the hell? Because you're going to be back, And you can find yourself, like there was a video that came out years ago, and I almost know who the guys were, but for some reason, that video on their channels is two guys that go fishing. And I like, I'm a fisherman, I'm an angler. They were fishing in Texas, and I want to say it was off the Trinity River, the world famous now because of everybody knowing about what they got as far as gigantic alligator gar and catfish, certain catfish species like flatheads. They got some beast out there in Florida, right? So, and it's definitely one of my bucket list places I want to fish someday. I want to go there and try my hand at alligator gar and not lose a hand because they ain't no joke with them teeth. But I fish for a long-nosed gar here in Georgia. It's one of my absolute all-time favorite fish. And so I was looking at a video where this guy, they went to this remote area. Like you could tell they had mapped this thing out. They were the only people to know about this, which made it even more intriguing. They're on this muddy shore, fishing from the shore, not on boats. Like they made it out there on some like canoes or something, or like a John boat as I remember. I can't remember. But they get to this shallow area where they just parked the boat and they were doing it all on foot. And they were fishing. And they caught a couple of things in the video, but the main thing that blew my mind, of course they caught a couple of alligator gar, and those are always monsters. They average when they get of size 5, 6 foot on into 7, 8 foot, 9 foot even, and on record, like the legendary ones that was 12 and all that, the prehistoric beasts, them black and white photos where it stretch across the whole photo. Yeah, they can be that. And I do believe that there's still something like that out there, even though their numbers have been hurt from people just being ignorant about the species and, oh, that's ugly, it's a monster, it's a demon. Like people kill me the stuff they cast on other animals when we the most dangerous thing on the planet. Literally. So anyway, aside from all those threats, in areas where they're mostly protected and stuff like that, or there's a limit on how many you can harvest, and I'm all for people having a meal if that's what you're gonna do, but within regulation, you know what I mean? Like, you exhaust it, you won't be able to ever eat it again, you know what I mean? You exhaust it, you won't never see it again, and that's the biggest shame, to never even be able to see the thing. And this thing been here since prehistoric times. Like, what shame, man. People just get a hold of yourself. But anyway, they can, it is possible amongst alligator gar to also be hybrid with long-nosed gar. And when that tends to happen, they call it a crocodile gar, a croc gar, or, because their snout is longer. The long-nosed got the long, thin snout. Alligator literally have a wide head the same shape as an alligator's head. And so alligator gar, when they mix with the long nose, make this really unique hybrid that's absolutely good. I would say that's my ultimate favorite of all gar, because it's like the best of both worlds, like to me, because my two of my favorite gar of all time in one. It gets no better for me. And so they caught one that was so huge. I think it was literally one of the biggest ever caught, quite frankly, as far as a hybrid. I think they literally made a record on video. And what's bizarre and crazy is I can't find that video for nothing. And it's all because of, like I say, when you're doing a haphazard YouTube watching, you pay for it, man. You look back and you can't find it. You didn't save it. You didn't like it. I'm like, what the hell was I thinking not to get that video? And there was a year where I went, I mean, even saying this out loud is reminding me to go on a hunt again. Maybe I can find it if I really go deep for it. But I tried my damnedest to find that video, and it never surfaced again. And I know it's either of two anglers that I watch the most. There's my guy who does Catching Dinosaurs. He's a legend. He's, in my opinion, the most true conservationist-minded gar fisherman in Texas. You know, there's a lot of guys that are on video doing their thing, but of all of them, he's the most humane. He really does love the fish. He really does care about just catch and release procedures, and he even participates in some scientific research for them because of the fact that in some areas they are endangered. And they do a tagging, because the first time I saw him doing a tag, I was like, what the hell are you doing that for? I thought you care about the fish. You know, like, I honestly just don't like the idea of tagging, but over time I've come to understand the human part of that is like, scientists are trying to be able to, you know, if a fish is recaught or whatever, they can trace where it was. They can get some things about habitat. They can understand, okay, this water has become threatening to them, so they don't live there anymore. They live in this other part. They're being found more in that part. If we can, you know, create legislation to protect a certain area of a certain river or whatever, it might keep the species alive longer, because we found that that's where they mostly are. We know that's where they are because we've got tagged fish there. So I get it. More and more I understand it. And like I said, it'll never sit completely right with me, because I just don't like the idea of leaving. I don't even like when, as an angler, I catch a fish and I can't get that hook out their mouth. That bothers me. I know it will rust out and all that, but the truth is, I've seen videos with sharks swimming through the ocean with rusty, crusty hooks on their mouth, and I'm like, damn. You know, I wouldn't want to leave them like that. You know, the scars are healed. Being poked and dragged, tug of war, release, boom, that'll heal. That'll be like, you know, that's just part of the reality of fishing. But to literally leave something that's like our human trash, so to speak, but it is a tool. But I'm saying it becomes like trash at that point. I'm like, man, that's kind of messed up. I don't like that. So, but, you know, it's a but for everything, but I always add my buts up and just be honest about, okay, let's just be real. What makes sense makes sense. What never gonna make sense don't make no kind of sense. Fishing is an art form. Fishing is a tradition since the beginning, absolute beginning of humanity. Again, something that started in Africa. Yes, you knew I was gonna say it. You should know, because it's the truth. All right, the first hook was ever made in Kemet, again, back to Africa. All right, so, and whenever I do it, I think about my ancestors and the fact that this was something they did for ages. Even created the first poles, the first system of holding a pole with a string, with a hook attached. Africa, straight up. Ain't no debate. It's on record. And there's plenty of people who would try and, well, no, that's not the same because they didn't have this and this and that. People crack me up when once something has grew into something else, they want to say it's totally different. It's totally different. Again, that's that mental issue. Well, they didn't have reels, and so because somebody didn't have a reel, that's still not the beginning of holding a rod with a line and a hook and pulling up a fish. And even lures, first lures and bait systems with, you know, hooking something, a live or cut bait, and using it to tempt an animal to bite. Like that, you want to take that credit away. Like, what? It's sad that some people literally want to, they spend so much time trying to discredit instead of just, let's just face the facts and move forward. More importantly, face them because you're not a racist asshole. You're not part of the nonsense that keeps this BS going. We could end all of this bullshit and be ready for whatever else is coming in the rest of our human existence. Everybody's always worried about, some people, I'm not worried about it because I have believed that I have a personal belief that, yes, I do believe there's intelligent on the scale of what we would call, most people would call intelligent, because I feel like all life is intelligent, first of all. I don't look at it like human intelligence is the ultimate intelligence amongst all the fauna, okay? No, we are not. That's the human ego. When you hear that, that's another part of the problem. But I do believe in alien life. Not even believe, I know in alien life. It just makes common sense that there would be other life forms out there in the galaxy. I'm not a flat earther, okay? All you weirdos on that BS, all right? And I believe there's other planets. I believe there's even possibilities of other things that are not planets that life could exist on. But I just know that what we exist on is a planet. It is a sphere, okay? A globe. It just is. So anyway, and gravity is real. So there's that. But anyway, yeah, I just want to see the day where, if it's meant to be, because people are starting to do stuff right now to speculate the possibility of aliens. Like I saw something, and I don't know why he did this. Tyrese be trolling his own page. Tyrese put up something last night talking about he's so religious and everything. So he's talking about something about, get right with God because things about to change and all this kind of stuff. He's talking about aliens. And he shows this picture. It's supposed to be New York last night. And you see these like string of lights in the sky mixed in between clouds, and they're glowing. And people were having a fit in the comments because they was like, look, I'm in New York and I don't see nothing like that right now. What you doing this for, man? What you playing? Then there was other people saying, yeah, I'm in Jersey and I don't see nothing like that. So the whole area is talking about it. Plus other people are saying, this is AI, this is AI, that's AI. And the sad thing about how bad AI is, I wrote a script years ago, for a film that hopefully in my lifetime, it'll make it to screen. And it's a daikaiju concept. If you don't know what that is, that's Japanese for giant monster like Godzilla and things of that nature. And it's in a time in the history of humanity where AI and things of that nature have gotten to the point where people don't believe anything that might be real anymore, or it keeps everybody two-sided about the existence of damn near anything, because AI is so good that when something real does happen, and it's so unbelievable what's happening, no one believes it. Like everybody's like, no, that's not real, man. Oh, no. And it's happening right in front of them. No, this ain't real. They projecting some holograms on us. So I ain't gonna give away no more of my plot because it's classic and it deserves to come out someday. But when I tell you what I know I got is absolutely overdue, and right now needs to be in theaters because it could teach a lot of lessons about how divided and ignorant and just, in other cases, it's not even about being stupid or silly. It's just people are so either trusting or non-trusting in the most extreme of ways. It's either one extreme or the other. And sometimes that is kicking us in the ass because you pay the price in your ignorance of not believing nothing sometimes, or believing something that is not true. So yeah, there's a lot. There's a hell of a lot right now. And we're going to keep you up to date. So pay attention, stay strong, and look for more content real soon right here on